Well, Jacob. I was really in love with him during the shooting. Hi, Man About Town. I'm Diego Calva, and I will taking a look about my highlights of my career, frame by frame. My career is really short, but let's try. Well, this is I Promise You Anarchy. This is my first movie. I was not an actor at the moment, and it's a very important movie for me because all the other actors, all my friends in the movie are actually my best friends. One of them, Ashauri, is a very important poet here in Mexico, and we co-wrote one of the poems of the movie. Julio Hernandez Cordon, he gave me my first opportunity. I think sometimes you lose that kind of naturality. I don't know. I watched the movie again with my girlfriend Julia, and I was really impressed of the lightness of the performance, because I really didn't care about the movies. For me, the movie was I didn't want to be an actor, and I think sometimes that kind of shameless is a gift, or ignorance, you can say. But yeah, that is still one of my favorite movies. I Promise You Anarchy. This is Beautiful Losers, a movie from Guillermo Magariños, one of my best friends too. It's a movie we made with, honestly, I don't know, maybe $20,000, something like that. It's a movie about all the takes were all improvisation, and when I read the script, what I liked is that the director wrote in this scene, these two characters could meet and say this, or they maybe just stay silent, or maybe these scenes never happen. So I really like the freedom of the script. Babylon is probably the most important movie of my career, not because of the magnitude or the size of the movie, mostly because after Babylon I started to call myself an actor. Demian worked with me for a year and a half. For me, that was going to college. I studied history and script writing and direction. Never studied any dramatic arts. So Babylon was literally my college, and I kind of hate it. Babylon is like a toxic ex-girlfriend. I just have to go back and watch her again. All the wardrobe, every piece was period piece. So I tried to steal one of the trousers. They caught me, and I couldn't. But I still have his lighter. That was one of the most amazing experience of my career. I think Margot is a force. I remember the first on the chemistry reading. I think one of the reasons I got Babylon, or I got cast in Babylon, it was because of her, because we met in Damian's house way before shooting the movie, and we did a chemistry reading. And most of the improvisations that we performed that day went to the script. Damian went and rewrote all the script. And I don't know, sometimes you have these magical moments and you have actually a chemistry with someone. And I remember Margot coming to the bathroom and tell me touch me, don't act, let's play. She put my hands all over her body and said let's act. And that, in my case, being the rookie, was the confidence I needed. Well, Margot is, she's a superstar, but she's really humble. We were always playing cards. She invited me to her trailer. There's a very funny story. I was living in my car during the Babylon shooting because the studio, it's a complex situation, but I was living in my car, literally, and I was taking the shower every day in the bathroom of the studio in Paramount Lot, and she realized that. And that happened to her when she was shooting The Wolf of Wall Street. So she invited me to live with her and her husband, and I lived a month with her. And then she went to London for 2 weeks, and I was alone in her house, in this mansion. And it took me 45 minutes to figure out how to flush the toilet, because it was one of these electronic toilets. I went to my cell phone and took a picture and tried to look for the instructions. And I literally had to call Marrón in London. Diego, it's 7 a.m. in the morning, what happened? I can't flush the toilet. But stories, no? Okay, this is El Secreto del Río. Wow, this became a very important show for me, because nobody believed on it in the beginning, and turned out to be one of the most successful Netflix shows in Mexico. And I had the chance to meet Trinity, the other actress. She's a model actually, but she I don't know, it's the same with Margot. Some kind of real connection happened, and during the show she was literally educating me. The show is about these trance situation, and my character is like best friend with this guy and this kid, and 20 years later she came back as a woman, and it was like a very important show for me because Trinidad, she literally like had the patience and the love to show me and to educate myself, so to educate me, you know. So I'm a different person after this show. Jacob. This is On Swift Horses. On Swift Horses is a movie for me like a confirmation that I really wanted to be an actor. After the Babylon premiere, we were doing the press tour, and I realized that I like to act. I hate cover shoots. No. I hate publicity, like the publicity tour. The press tour is really exhausting because you go from one city to another and you're like 7 hours in one city, take another plane and go to the other. And I was really tired. So I called Dan Minningham, who is a gentleman, and I called him and said like, I'm not your guy. Jacob is too hot, man. Like I've been drinking and eating and working and like I'm not in shape. No, Diego. And he flew me to Los Angeles, invited me to a Sunset Tower Hotel, I think, and he read some parts of the book, of the novel, and he told me like, you are Henry, like it's not about how you look, it's about like how you feel and the energy you can give to the camera and to the performance. And I said yes, and I don't regret it, because after this I started to call myself like an actor in the sense that I was not a one-hit wonder, you know. Jacob is really shy. I think he's a really educated actor. Like he's a great actor and he's like really focused all the time, but he has this superstar situation when people treat him differently, you know, but he's actually like super sweet and really smart. And when we connected because of Pokemon, we were both playing the same Pokemon game on Nintendo Switch, and we realized that. We started talking about like all theater, and I gave him Todos eran mis hijos, they were all my sons. I think that's the way you translate the novel. And we started talking about Elia Kazan and like all the like American theater, and we really connected. And you need that kind of connection to feel safe, to be able to play, and to be able to be curious, and to be able to play or to act that kind of chemistry and make that like love scenes in the way that it's not about like being sexy, it's about like being really romantic. And I think we nailed that. At least I was really in love with him during the shooting. We have night manager. We kind of knew that we were doing some kind of Y Tu Mamá También scene. Y Tu Mamá También is probably like the most important Mexican film from Cuarón. I don't know, night manager, it was a long show. We shot it for like almost 7 months, 3 different countries. And once again, you need this kind of connection with your other actors, with your partners, because it's really hard to play intimacy and to play this kind of scene when you don't feel safe, you know? And mostly like Camila, between 2 guys, and Tom and me, we were like all really professional, I suppose. And at this moment, we were shooting for like at least 4 months, so we were like family at this point. But yeah, during that scene, we could kind of know that it was going to be the poster of the show, you know? I mean, it's sexy. Come on. This was my career frame by frame. Thank you, man, about town. See you next time.